Hello, everyone. I'm so glad and thankful to get such a good response in my last video. That really compelled me to put another video. So this time also I'm focusing on the same topic, which is Orchestrator API. So last time we did an exercise on how to start a job or how to trigger a job using Orchestrator API. This time I'm gonna show how to create and edit an asset using Orchestrator API call. So let's get started with the same. So I've created the same format, a notepad, where we are going to follow all the steps to create an asset and edit the assets. So for creating or editing assets, first and foremost step is authorization. So last time also we did the first step was our authorization. So authorization is the most important part when you are doing an API call or interacting with the server. So we'll be starting with authorization, then we are going to get all the folders. So if you can see, nowadays we have our new version of orchestrator with us. So that has really a different set of folder structures. If you can see, if you can click here, you can see all different type of folders. You can also create your own folders. It's some classic and modern folder structures that they have come up with. It's a good, very good actually idea about uh, uh, maintaining folder structure in orchestrator, so that you can create all your processes, all unattended attended processes, and put it and configure it inside folders, and your assets or queues or everything you can create as per your folders and categorize them. So right now I'm using just this community edition, so I'll just use this default folder which is present in this classic folder. So for that reason we need all the folders, and we'll just get a folder ID inside which we are going to create our asset. So if you can see in this asset section, we haven't created any date asset yet. We'll be creating it using API call. So let's get started with our authorization first. So I'll be just posting. I'll just quickly do the authorization because we have already explained, like I have already explained on the authorization part in my last video. So I'm not going that in depth about it anymore. Content type is our, I'm sorry, content type is application JSON. And the tenant name, as you remember, as or you can also refer to my old video, the tenant name, I'll just get it from API access. So just go back to the automation cloud. I'll show you again how to get the tenant name. Go to manage for your orchestrator service and click on this three dots and go to API access. Here you're going to get all those details that are required for authentication. So tenant name is the tenant logical name. You can copy it directly from here and paste it. Then we are going to do the body. Our body would be of JSON type, as I explained earlier as well. Now I'm just going to copy my content. This is the content. Paste it. So we need this client ID, which I've already provided, and the refresh token, which is the user key, which we are going to get it from this Orchestrator API access portal. So this is the client ID and this is the key. A refresh token, you can also say. So we don't need these two. I'll just delete them. Now I'll just send the request. You should get a 200 OK status, and I'll get this access token, which we are going to use it for editing, creating, and deleting, and all sort of other API operations. So that's the reason why authentication is always required before starting an API operation. So I just start. Next part is our we will get all the folders in which we have to create our asset. So to get the folder, I'll just copy the endpoint. This is our endpoint. You have to just get your orchestrator URL along with the OData folders, which is constant for everything. Only your orchestrator URL will vary. This is my orchestrator URL, and after that, I just have this endpoint to get all the folders. Here also similar way we have to, for authorization we will be putting no authorization key. Again, one is authorization, other one is content type, this one is XPath, XUIPath tenant name. So this is application JSON again. This is bearer token. We have to give the bearer token. I'll just copy the bearer token from the authorization. So yeah, I just copied it. Bearer space authorization token and then the tenant name. Tenant name, I have just pasted it in this notepad. So I'll just get it from there and yeah. So that's it. We don't need any body here. So I'm just gonna send the request. We'll just get. The request type would be get. I'll just send it. So the status is 200 OK. So you can see we have got all the folders. You can see the first folder name is default, which I was talking about. And the second one should be shared, and three more folders I have created of my own. So those will be visible. We'll also get all the IDs of those folders. So we need, I am going to create it under this default folder. So I'll just get the ID here and I'll paste it in the notepad. Actually, I've already done it. So I can just paste it again and then we have to create the assets. So I'll just go for another API call to create the asset as the, and the request type would be post, and I'll just copy the endpoint. Again, the endpoint would be same. You have to just use your URL endpoint, URL orchestrator URL endpoint, and OData assets, which is common for every asset creation. So now authorization is again same, no authorization. Headers, again, we are going to mention all those same details, content type, content type, then is the authorization, UiPath tenant name, and here we have an additional header field, which is our organization unit ID, which is none other than that folder ID, which inside which we are going to just create the asset. We just copy the folder ID, paste it here, and tenant name and everything else would be same. So I just copy it from here itself. Okay, so that's got copied. Okay, just tried it manually. And the okay, this is authorization. Pasted it incorrectly. The content type and an authorization, it should be bearer and the token ID. I'll just copy the token ID again and paste this here. And that's done. And then we are going to post. We have to create the asset. For that, we have to again use a JSON format. Like from I'm gonna use it in JSON format, the body. So I have created the body already. So for creating the assets, yeah, this is the body. I'm gonna use it. Just paste it and yeah. So this is the name which you're gonna provide it. Value of scope is value scope is global. Value type would be a text. As of now, I'm creating a text type asset. And string value is, this is the string value. This is data you can say that I'm assigning to the asset. So I'll just send this request. So you can see the status is 201 created. That means the asset must have been created in our orchestrator. Now we can go and check it. We'll check if our asset has been created or not. Initially, we didn't have any asset as I showed you. Now the asset, yeah, our asset has been created. Asset one. Now we're gonna just edit the asset. So for editing the asset, first we need to get all the assets. So now we have just created only one asset. So there might be more than one assets, 2, 3 assets. For that, we need to get all the assets and we'll get the particular asset ID for which we want to edit the asset for. So in that case, let me just create another asset. So it will be easy for our understanding. So I'll just create another asset saying asset 2, and the value I'll just make it as XYZ and send the request. So our second asset is also created. I'll just refresh this page. Yeah, so now we're gonna edit the asset for asset number 1, which is asset 1. So we have to get all the assets. So for that, we'll be using that same endpoint, but our request type would be get, and everything else would be same only. So no authorization, headers and everything would be same. So you can go and do it in here itself. So I'll just do it here, or we can also do it in a new one, but it's just time consuming. So here I'll just change it to get assets and the headers would be same only. So in that case, I'll just send the request again. So if you can see odata.count is 2, we have got 2 assets. Name first one is asset 1 and the second one must be asset 2. But all we need is this asset ID just to edit the asset. Now we have to edit the asset. I'm going to use the same API, same window and same endpoint to edit the asset. But only thing is we have to copy and paste the same asset ID and paste it here, and the request type would be put. So only you can see. And now we have to again paste the body of the asset. So this is the body. I'll just copy and paste it. So only thing you can see, we have to provide this. It's the same how we created an asset, but only one thing that we need to add is the asset ID, which we just got it after getting all the assets. So I'll just send the request, but here I'm just gonna change the name to XYZ, the data, because we're gonna edit it. So let's send it and we'll see if the data has been edited or not. Assets doesn't exist. Okay. Okay, if you can see the ID is incorrect here, I'll just edit it. Just cross check the ID again. Correct. Okay, fine. So I'm gonna send it. Assets doesn't exist. Fine. Let me get the assets again. Oh, I'm sorry. The request should be get. I'll send it. This is the asset ID. I'll just copy it here. and I'll copy the body from here and paste it. Okay, the body was having a different asset ID, that's the reason it got failed. I'll just copy it, paste it. This is my asset ID. I'm going to change it to XYZ, the data, which we are going to edit it, and I'll send the request. But this time, okay, this is get asset. It's going to give us the same one. We have to put the asset and 200 OK status. We're just going to check if our asset has been edited. So now it is showing my name is KPL only. So we're going to refresh and check again. So you can see the asset name has been changed. So this is how you are going to just create and edit the assets. So that's it. And next time we can check on how we can also, this is a single data value that I'm passing. This is just a text format. We can also pass asset in JSON format. You can pass a huge load of data as an asset through API call as well. So that we can also look after in my next session. So till then, bye bye. Thank you.